I was on a plane with the CEO of Gallup 3-4 years ago, and he was doing a study at that point whether entrepreneurs are made or whether they're born.
Mm-hmm.
And there was mixed data, but what was clear is that certain people are born. It doesn't mean you can't become an entrepreneur, but certain people are born in a certain way. Their brain thinks in a certain way, and I'm one of those people. I was born with ADD. Fortunately, when I was in school, that wasn't a classification, or they might have taken me out of regular class and put me in special classes. But I got pretty good grades, but concentration was always a challenge for me, because a teacher would say something, and all of a sudden I would get this idea, and like my mind would head off somewhere. And now I am deeply engrossed figuring out how to make this idea go. And suddenly I'll come back 10, 15 minutes later and I'll realize I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
That has, to this day, that is a challenge. It's something my wife took a long time to understand, to figure out that, it's not because I don't want to listen to you. It's because my mind just took off and I'm trying to get back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more than just having an idea. You have to be able to execute on ideas. Every week, because I am a serial entrepreneur, people reach out to me and say, I've got this idea. And I say, great. And I say, and I give them my impression of the idea, but I say, don't listen to me. What do I know? I've missed out on some opportunities because I didn't realize things were great ideas. So, explore it, do your research, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out how to execute on it. And here's always my advice. A couple things. First of all, try to place a small bet. And in other words, a lot of people will say, okay, I'm going to mortgage my home. I'm going to spend all the money I have in all my credit cards. What I want to say is, if you can, try a small bet. So when we started our e-commerce company, I had a consulting company that was paying the bills. So, I was good there. I could keep that running, keep the money coming in. But we started a small e-commerce store that sold yard signs. And I threw that up, and I'm a Republican. And this was in 1999, early days. And phone rings, and one of the people working in my office says, hey, there's a Democrat from Ohio on. He wants to buy bumper stickers from us. Do we sell to Democrats? And I thought about it for about 3 seconds. Then I said, ask him if his money is green. If it is, sell him the bumper stickers. So we created the world's first online campaign store, which then morphed into BigFunnyCards.com, the world's largest greeting cards, and about 10 other stores. And what we're able to do on all of those is place a small bet that didn't take us under. And if it worked, then we would expand it. You can't always do that. Sometimes you got to go for it. But if you can place a small bet, do it. Second, the other mistake that people make is they think, I don't have time to do this, or I've got to quit my job to do it. The argument I make to people is that people have as much time that they don't realize they have as they do in their standard job that they do, say 40 hours a week or something. So, but what I tell them is you have to harvest your downtime. People always look at me when I say, what do you mean harvest your downtime?
You're from Iowa, that's a common term probably.
You like that, harvest? So if you think about it, you drop your kids, you go to pick up your kids from soccer practice. Maybe you wait 10 minutes in the car for them to come running over to the car. If you can harvest that 10 minutes and use it to build your business, then whether you've got an established business or a new business, that 10 minutes makes a difference. You lay a brick in the wall. And then later that day, you're finished with dinner, everybody's settling down to watch some TV, you pick up your laptop and you work for 45 minutes, let's say. Okay, now you put 3 or 4 more bricks in the wall. Every time you put another brick in the wall, you lay a piece of that foundation. By the end of the day, you can have 3-4 additional hours than on the weekend. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be successful in business, it's not a 40-hour-a-week pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dedicated pursuit. And you can take the same attitude towards a nonprofit that you start, toward an organization at your kid's school that you start. But harvesting your downtime is an important principle, because once you lose that 10 minutes of downtime, you never, ever get it back.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean that you steal time from your family, because that's part of the dedicated time. You give time to your work, you give time to your family. If you have faith, you give time to your church and your religious faith. But after you've done all that, you still have a lot of downtime that you can capture.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, so you and I, we met, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years ago in a leadership conference and with our wife's couples deal out in California. I think it was Palm Springs or something like that, right? Is that where it was at?
I think it might have actually been in Cabo.
Cabo, maybe it was okay. Either way, whenever it was, remember, we hit it off fast. Kelly and Cheryl and you and I hit it off really fast. We were about the same age. We had wives that were amazing wives that not only were smart as heck, way smarter than us, but definitely they had different strengths than us that made us better. And I remember because we have the same disease, right? I have this thing, my ADD, and my mind goes all different directions pretty easily. I chase squirrels often, and it's tough to come back from chasing that squirrel if I don't catch them. And I'm not thinking about the conversation in front of me sometimes. So either way, same thing. And when I look at this, what have you done, or what has Kelly done to help you with this disease? And when it comes to keeping you straight, keeping you focused sometimes, and keeping you family focused and faith focused and all the other things, can you explain? Can you share a little of that?
Sure. Yeah. So her strengths are she was a corporate attorney before I tricked her into keeping the checkbook when I first started the company my first company in 1998. And both the companies in 98, 99 grew pretty quickly. And so she left her law practice, and she had reduced her time because we were having children at that point. And being a corporate attorney is a real grind, and it's very difficult if you want to be a mother and raise your children. Mm-hmm. So she left that practice, and essentially we built the companies together. My role is vision, which people sometimes make fun of. My job is to do this. Vision, product development, marketing, and sales. Mm-hmm. Those are the 4 things that I do. Kelly does operations, HR, finance, and then all the other little things that crop up. And when I say she does those, she oversees those people. Initially we start doing them ourselves. One of the great things that worked out for our family and our business life, Gary, is that in 2001, one thing we both did, no matter how busy we were, we both always coached. There was never a time that we were not coaching, never a single year that we didn't coach. So I've coached football and basketball and soccer and the debate team at the high school. Kelly coached baseball and softball and mock trial. So I took my flag football team down to my elementary school to practice. And my oldest son was in first grade at that point, I think. And there was a little sign in front of my elementary school that they had closed it and it was going up for auction. And sealed bids were due on my birthday, October 20th. Mm-hmm. And I said, my vision thing, this would be a really good present to myself. I'm going to buy myself a school. So I went home and I told Kelly what I wanted for my birthday. And so we submitted our bid, and the building was only 50 years old, 6 acres at the intersection of an interstate and a state highway, prime real estate, 26,000 square feet, 2 playgrounds, two baseball fields or kick soccer fields.
Basketball court.
Yeah, basketball court, gym.
I know I've been wanting to get there for so long. I've been to your house, but I have not gotten to your office. I got to get there. But anyway,
it's wonderful.
So how cool is that? So what happened? Tell us.
Yeah, so we bid $100,000 and actually 101, and the school district came back and said there are 3 bids. You're the high bid, but that's not enough money. We're the high bid. They said it's just not enough money. So you need to give us a higher bid. So I thought about it. A few days later, I submitted a bid for $106,000. They said, "Awesome, it's yours." So,
wow, how cool is that?
And so we've had our companies inside my elementary school since then, and we have offices in different places in the country now. But yeah, it's great to stumble out of my office, which is the teacher's lounge, and shoot some baskets.
That's awesome. Nice. That's awesome.